Hi, this is Alan Joseph. I'm going to speak about secure system development. A software which is developed consists of 3 levels of security which needs to be implemented. In application level, when you build a software, it needs to be checked for data leaks, to write code which prevents SQL injection, where intruders can go into the application and get the data which they want through SQL injection. And on the system level, secure certificates needs to be established. The data from the client to the server needs to be protected by setting up SSL certificates, and a secure transmission needs to be set up. In the network level, IP should be configured to avoid passive intrusion, which notifies suspicious network traffic, blocks new thread, threads. The URL filtering can be used to filter a specific set of URLs. The hackers' URLs or the unknown URLs can be prevented by URL filtering. Only certain specific URLs can be allowed to pass through the network. The firewall settings can be created in order to avoid network traffic which is not required to the system. Malware can be prevented. Intrusion can be avoided using firewalls. Only specific set of instructions or specific set of data can be passed through the firewall. That can be configured using firewall settings. When we consider, most of the hacking takes place when the data is passed through the internet. When sending the same data, similar kind of data to the internet, if you consider an application, you log in, it encrypts the username and password and sends it to the internet. If the same similar kind of encryption is used multiple number of times, each time the user logs into the system, it will be easy for the hackers to understand the common pattern which is used. Using the pattern with some information of the user, what application is using, what kind of username he uses, it is easy for the hackers to identify what kind of data is sent. Once the credentials are hacked, other data from the system can be retrieved. So for this, to avoid pattern specific, to avoid getting a pattern of structure, dynamic keys can be used. For dynamic keys is like RSA token which we use for software, logging into a remote machine. The keys can be generated in the client side and encrypted. The same key is used in the server. This key can be automatically generated using secure algorithms every 2 minutes or every 3 minutes. So the data which is transferred in that particular period of time can be decrypted. The encrypted data with the same key can be decrypted within that 2 minutes time. This has a flaw if that data is sent in before the token changes from one to the other, 1 minute and 58 second or 1 minute 59 second, it goes to the server and it can fail. So there can be a buffer of 5 seconds or 10 seconds which makes it eligible to work. This can avoid forming a pattern of data which is sent to the network, and the intruders can never understand what kind of data is sent through the internet or what is the application sending to the internet, because every time it generates a new pattern. The security should be agile. It needs to be changing. It also keeps changing every time. So there are 3 phases for an attack. Before the attack, the defender, the application admin, can set up the policies and controls to defend the attacks from entering into the system. So for which you should be aware of the complete end-to-end system, and during the attack, while the attack is happening, the system should be capable of continuously detecting the malware and block it. So even when the system is attacked, it needs to detect the malware, and once the attack is complete, the defender needs to retrospect the logs of how the point of entry was to the system, what was the threat, how did it impact the system, how the system needs to respond when such an attack comes in the next time, and to resolve it. This is very critical. Only when an attack is identified and understood clearly, we can prevent it from happening it again. And the security is just not implementing the defending the security from the attackers, but it needs to be available throughout the life cycle of the system, and it needs to capture the data every time. Thank you.